Hi, I'm Ali Bakewell and I've adapted Luigi Pirandello's Six Characters in Search of an Author for a Zoom performance in November. And I'm interviewing some of the cast and crew about aspects of the play and their experience of this different format. So Barbara Seymour, you play the director in the play and your son played the role of the director some years ago now. How do you think your Zoom performance will be different from his stage performance?
Well, it's 15 years ago since Tom took that part while he was at drama school. And he played it in the Drum in Birmingham, which is quite a large, luxurious space, but with only capacity of about 150. So quite intimate in some respects, but a large space to play in. And I recall it very vividly. The lighting was icy blue, absolutely icy blue, very, very cold. And it created a very dreamy, unwelcoming atmosphere, totally utilitarian. They had a set that was made of scaffolding. It was wooden scaffolding, which extraordinarily enough has now reminded me, or I can associate with the Zoom experience we're having at the moment. So we're all in our little boxes playing either the character or the actor or whatever. And they did that for the characters, this mysterious group of people who appear. So there was a similarity there, except they had an awful lot of space to play in. And of course, the gestures were huge. I can remember my son striding across the stage, but I couldn't see his eyebrow move. I couldn't see whether he was smiling or not. The greatest difference for me at the moment is that the fourth wall was never broken. So we were actually watching some very cold people undertaking the task that they had to undertake, which was just telling us a story. But they were very aloof, and they were very aloof to each other. Now we're working in our platform with Zoom, and the character that I'm playing immediately removes the fourth wall. So we're very, very intimate. And the communication is totally different. I think a lot of the audience will relate to it because of COVID, we're all working differently, we're all communicating differently, all our affections are displayed differently. So I think they'll be quite welcoming, but they'll also be aware of cybersecurity. So whilst they are watching and suddenly perhaps something strange happens, who knows, they might experience a little bit of frisson that the greater stage wouldn't provide them, because it will be quite intimate for them too. They will be experiencing exactly what I will be experiencing in my character as the director. I think that's basically what I'm feeling at the moment. They are the main differences. Also, of course, that Tom, when he was doing his performance, had the privilege of the big stage. I have a tiny little screen. I've become very aware of all my facial muscles, and my tiny gestures become enormous. And I'm quite concerned about that, because the performances I've had in the past, I've been given the license of moving in whichever way was necessary, and my facial expressions probably were quite exaggerated. Although I thought they might have been real, they probably weren't. Suddenly they've got to be totally realistic. I'm going to have to do a lot of work on that, and have been. I've been looking at myself continually, which is not a pleasant sight at the best of times, but yeah, feeling quite vulnerable at this point.
And unlike a conventional stage, you have that constant and immediate feedback because you can see the performance that you're giving.
Yeah, absolutely.
The role of director was originally written by Pirandello for a male actor. What does a female director bring to this play?
This particular female, has struggled with this aspect enormously. I think it's around the fact that this particular female considers herself to be a feminist, probably of the 1970s variety, and I've always continually looked at my role as the nurturer. It is expected of me, I think, by society that I nurture by nature, that I'm born into being a nurturer because I'm able to give birth. The character of the director is not a nurturing role. The director may nurture the actors, and I think probably does. But in terms of nurturing children, vulnerable young women, this director doesn't. So therefore, I am playing it, I think I will be playing it, as a woman who is not of the nurturing variety. And I would say, and herald the fact, and I repeat, will herald the fact that this woman does not need to be a nurturer. It doesn't matter. So I'm not struggling with playing a woman who doesn't have, or doesn't wish to have, or hasn't acquired the nurturing aspects. I think that's actually quite natural. Other than that, my being a woman, I don't think it will bring much to the performance, other than being a director who wants to put on a commercial performance.
Great. We've spent a long time actioning the characters' lines, a technique that was presented in a workshop by West Bridgford Dramatic Society. How has this technique helped to inform your portrayal of the director in the play?
It's been enormous. It's been absolutely enormous. It has taken me a considerable amount of time to think about the intent of all my lines. So I've had to think about the language. I'm a lazy person, a lazy actress. And this is embarrassing to admit, but I shall share it anyway, that I can quite happily get to the end of the last performance and suddenly discover what a line meant. So that has taken that away from me. And what it's given to me has been a real revelation to me. I was quite dogmatic about what I thought the director's intent was, but then it was disturbed by the other players who also had very strong ideas about what their intent was. So I had to adjust. So it revealed to me lots of the nuance about the script and how it could be played. And I think probably as we go along the line, some of it will change, but we'll come to an understanding of characters much sooner, much sooner. Normally, in my experience, that understanding happens when everybody's learned their lines, where we've achieved it already. So it's been plus for me. And also, it's helping me learn my lines because it is telling me the story much more effectively than just listening to other people spouting their lines and me reciting mine. It's really got down to the nitty-gritty of what the story is about. So I will never, ever, if I'm given the privilege to play another part, ever play a part without going through this process.
My work here is done.
Yeah. True.
Barbara, thank you very much. And just a reminder to everybody that 6 Characters in Search of an Author will be performed live by West Bridgford Dramatic Society on the 12th, 13th and 14th of November via Zoom. It would be lovely for you to join us. Thank you.